nostalgia, memories, growing up in Central Florida in the 1990s. What a bunch of sappy crap. It's the Sappy Crap Podcast, starring Steve Bauman and Jarman Day.
Welcome to the Sappy Crap Podcast. That's right, you are hearing correctly and seeing correctly. You are not losing your mind. We are back with another random episode of the Sappy Crap Podcast where the names are changed, but the stories are real.
We were done, but we are lying sacks of crap.
We're Sappy Crap is what we are.
So here's the deal. So despite the fact that Jarman and I have done very good about being ahead of schedule, like we've been incredibly ahead of schedule, life just caught up.
It did,
for reasons we're going to talk about momentarily, which kind of became the theme of this episode.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is Sappy Crap is going to make rare and beautiful appearances, like a phoenix rising over the horizon
and taking a big crap,
and then it explodes and turns into ashes once more. Like that, Sappy Crap is going to come out when we are just strung for time and don't have time to prep, but we don't want to give up on you, our audience.
That's right. If this is the first time you're hearing anything on this feed, sorry.
Somehow.
But this was a show we did for 40 episodes just talking about growing up in Central Florida. Steve and I, my name's Jarman. His name is Steve.
I'm Steve. Formative memories, Sappy Crap.
Yeah, and we
nostalgia.
covered all aspects of kind of growing up, being adolescents and kids, and especially in the 90s, and it was in the early 2000s. It was a crazy time. But yeah, this episode, we're going to talk about awards and accolades. So yeah.
And Jarman, why are we talking about awards and accolades?
Well, this is not Steve's fault that we're not prepared to do this episode. It's my fault because I ran out of time because the last month and a half, I've had to be doing full-time voiceover work, but then also been writing and producing a short play, a 1-hour play for a local fringe festival here in Orlando, Florida, called Waiting for Godot. You might have heard other podcasts I've been talking about it, but it finally went up. We had 8 performances in the end, and it got great reviews in the local paper. This is the longest-running fringe festival in the United States, which I was not aware of until this time that I went. And so they had the big ones in Edinburgh, and then you have another big one in Canada. I'm forgetting where. But this is the biggest one in the United States. And so out of 97 plays in the festival, we won the best comedy of the entire festival. And I was just my mind was blown because we were sitting there goofing around at the award ceremony at the end of the festival. And all of a sudden they call our name out, what the hell? So it's we go up there and get it. This is great. So yeah, and that was just pretty exciting, and we had a lot of attention, a lot of ticket sales, and it was just it was a funny, nerdy play about 2 guys waiting for Gal Gadot to show up to the Wonder Woman 3 premiere, and it was a lot of fun.
That's right, you heard it here, folks. Jarman went and he won Orlando Fringe Festival.
I beat the festival. I beat the final boss.
He went and he wrestled it to the ground and held it until it gave up.
And because of that, I was so tired, and I had so much work I had pushed off. Unfortunately, I just couldn't do all of it at one time. So we were going to prepare a great Play on Nerds episode that I'm sure will be coming down the pipe soon.
It's still going to be great.
I just couldn't prepare for it. So thanks, Steve, for coming up with this idea at the last minute.
So I think that's how we're going to do Sappy Crap from now on. If you hear a Sappy Crap, it's because we are desperately busy.
It's true. But we'll still deliver the great content you can always expect.
So my opening question, Jarman, which I didn't prep for you because we came up with this so late notice. Did you win any awards for a sport?
Oh, I actually mentioned that in my prep that the only awards I ever won for a sport, because I did Little League. I think that was the only sport I did, maybe a little track at some point, but I won participation trophies because that's what millennials got, right? We got our participation trophies.
That's right.
But did you win awards for a sport? That's all I got.
I may have won some soccer trophies, maybe, but I don't remember. I remember pins, maybe.
Elementary school soccer,
buttons.
maybe?
Yeah, young soccer, 9 and younger soccer. And the only sport I really played after that was I was in the Junior Magic Basketball League.
I vaguely remember you doing that.
In Winter Park. And hold on, I'm going to snap my cat who is yowling at another cat outside. Stop it.
I can hear it.
Shut up, Truby. Pancakes doesn't love you. That's the name of Troubadour's boyfriend.
Oh, nice.
Joyce named him Pancakes. Okay. Leave this all in.
Oh, of course. Why would I take it out?
Junior Magic. And my team, with not say no help from me, but very minimal help from me, went undefeated. We got to do a game before the Magic game at Magic Arena.
Orlando Magic. Yeah.
The Orlando Magic. And we won that one, and we became like Junior Magic champions, undefeated.
Nice.
And it was a big deal. I did not start once. I worked pretty hard, and my coach was clearly proud of me because the last game of the season, not the finals, but the last game of the regular season, he tried to put me in. He tried to start me, and we're about to get tip off. I'm like, yeah, I finally get to start a game. I worked so hard all season. And the ref goes, we got 6 men on. And he points out that we're up a play, like we have too many people on. And the coach just goes, Steve, come out.
Oh, man.
So I got pulled right before the only time I was going to get to start.
He did that on purpose. You know, he's put you out there. You knew you were the extra guy.
Right.
So
He's like, I know math. The kid will be like, he was going to start me. Thanks, coach. I'll be the good guy.
Jesus.
It's dark. So, yeah, I won a trophy for that.
Wow.
That is the only sport, and that was 11 or 12.
And for those of you guys who don't know, abroad, the Orlando Magic is a basketball team from Orlando. They were very good in the 90s.
Shaquille O'Neal,
Horace Grant, Penny Hardaway. I knew those names.
So
back
many
then.
more names than I know.
Because back then, I actually knew the names of people who played in that team because they were good. It was like the Bulls were huge with Michael Jordan at the time. And we played the NBA Jam game, and all their faces were in there. And I liked playing
NBA,
our local team.
Hang time.
It was great.
I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone. Can't buy a bucket. So we now I don't know anything about sports, but yeah, I think when I played Little League, they shoved me out in the outfield and then prayed I didn't get the ball because I was terrible. But yeah, no awards from me.
What's your earliest non-sports award or accolade?
The first one I can think of, I might have gotten other ones, but nothing I can remember until high school when we had the Thespian Awards, and I got Best Actor for something, and I don't remember which play it was for.
I think so. What was it?
And I still have the trophy. They gave us nice, like high quality trophies, and I still have it because it was so nice. I'm not going to throw it away.
It had to be junior year or before. And now let me tell you why I know this had to be the case. It had to be the case because you were nominated up against Chris Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it may have been sophomore year. Like it may have been your first year. And it would have been you as Elwood.
Yeah. And he was going as the
How to Succeed
in Business Without Really Trying guy.
Yeah. And so I remember he, I think, lost and was so mad. He was so incredibly mad. I just remember how upset he was the rest of the night.
Yeah. That's why his last name isn't Nice anymore.
And since he would have been a senior our junior year, that's why I said it had to have been my junior year. But I can't remember what shows we did junior year.
I can't either. But yeah, I got that award.
We're getting old.
I got to take a picture with my co-star, who I had a huge crush on. I think, secret kind of crush where I wasn't going to act on it because I think I was dating somebody, but I always admired her and thought she was pretty awesome. But yeah, I remember that. That's like my first big award that was non-sports related. So what about you?
So in the 4th grade, I remember we were coming from recess and this other class was way behind us, and I held the door at the top of the stairs for an inordinate amount of time.
Okay.
And the teacher came up and was like, that was very polite of you. Here's a note. Come to my classroom later. And so I went back thinking I was like in trouble or something. I showed the note to my teacher and she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh. So like an hour later, she's like, you can go on down now. So I go on down and walk in. I'm like, am I in trouble? I'm really confused. And the teacher like very publicly thanked me. And then I got to pick a sticker out of a box.
What a reward.
That was my first, like, here's your reward for a public thing.
Although I will say my girlfriend is a middle school drama teacher, and she says kids, even up to middle school, still go wild for stickers. Like they think it's a great thing to get. So
does she have enough stickers? Because at one point I bought her stickers as a classroom.
Oh, then maybe that's part of what she's been giving out, and these kids freaking love those things. Yeah, that she still has.
All right. Well, we'll get her some more for next school year.
That's very nice of you.
And then in the 6th grade, I remember at Glenridge Middle, where Jarman and I both went to middle school, which still exists, but is a completely different location now.
Yeah, it's much prettier.
There was like a school awards thing called the ET students, extra terrific students.
I remember that.
And each team in each grade, I think, got to nominate, I don't know, 2 people. I don't remember how many it was. And if you got nominated, there was like an award ceremony once a month with administration, and parents were invited, and there were some like light, cookies and punch sort of things. They gave you a certificate. And so I got nominated and won that one month. And that was one of those nice things where I'm like, oh, an administrator knows my name. I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, cool.
But I've got a picture from that event of all the winners that my mom took. And if you look in it is, I'll just use her first name, Christina, who would have been an 8th grader at the time, and she won it the same month that I did.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I've got a picture of ET students with Christina, who Jarman later dated.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
In there. And I think I asked her about it once, and she didn't recollect at all.
I mean, people like me had bad memories of these things. You have a great memory for all this stuff.
I was just like, look, I've got a picture, though. So you could not remember, but you were there.
Is that one picture that's gone in the fire? Or do you still have that somewhere?
I may still have it somewhere.
You should scan that or take a picture of it and send it to me.
I'll see if I can find it. I only have like 2 picture books. If it's not one of those, you're screwed.
But you saying that reminded me of my earliest accolade that I can actually remember, which I think was 5th grade. It might have been 6th, but I won the Dare essay contest. So
that might have been 5th grade. I think I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, and for people out of the United States or people who are under 30, I forgot what it stands for, but it's
drug awareness. Readiness evasion. I don't know.
Yeah, it basically was an anti-drug big thing that probably the Reagans started.
Their mascot was a lion.
Yeah, and basically you'd have cops and people and DEA agents stuff coming to schools and teaching you all about drugs and showing you terrifying videos and why you shouldn't drink alcohol or drugs. And so
I remember one time they brought DHTC'd weed.
Oh.
And lit it so that we would all know what it smelled like. So we could
remember that too. Yeah. But so everyone had to write an essay. I don't know if everyone had to do it or some people volunteered to write an essay to try to win the competition.
We definitely all had to do it.
But they picked mine as like the winner of like the whole school with, I think Cassie Santiago won it with me. Because we have a picture of me and Cassie Santiago at the award ceremony at like the local Shriners thing or something. We had to go up and I had to wear a little suit and everything. And I really didn't like drugs or alcohol. And Steve and I both didn't like that kind of stuff. So that's why I won. And I was really proud of myself being I was basically a huge narc and a huge nerd. So that's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, Jarman and I only drank, I think 2 times in all of high school.
Yeah, man.
And it wasn't like rager kind of drinking. It was like, let's ask someone's cousin to buy us 3 6-packs and split them between 7 dudes.
And we were so tipsy, man.
Yeah.
Off those wine coolers and Zimas.
It was a lot of, Mike's Hard Lemonade and Smirnoff Ices.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That sugar that'll just kill you.
Oh, and I did win at high school. I did write this down. I think it was during the chorus award ceremony. I won a superlative award of the best dressed. And I was very proud of that. Probably more than the best actor nomination.
Later in middle school, you and I had the same piano teacher for a little while.
Yes, we did.
And she had like a quarterly competition where it was key signature races to see, and she would do flashcards and you'd see how quick you could name all the key signatures correctly. And I really sucked at this. And I remember having my own flashcards and practicing with my dad and like really trying to do this. And so I went in and it was like test day at the end of the session. And I did it and I had been like over a minute and got it down to like 32 seconds.
Wow.
And she was like, well, I only have one more student. It's Richard. He's coming in next. You want to stay? And Richard was this new kid. He was young, like 9. But compared to me, he was like a piano prodigy.
Oh.
He was very good. Like even when he came at 9, he was years ahead of where I was because I just didn't care about piano really.
I know. Neither did I, unfortunately. Wish I did.
I wish I did, but it wasn't my passion. And I remember he came in and Miss Palmieri did the test first so I could go. And I thought I had a lot to 32 and he came in and like blew it away at 28 or just something insane. Oh, just knocked my time out. And I was like, okay, I'll try again next time.
This is the time where you didn't get an award or accolade?
Yeah, I didn't get an award.
I thought you were going to give me like
close.
A video award or something.
So close. Like, I remember he had like just started like 2 weeks prior. And I'd worked like for months trying to do this.
Well, came really close.
I won a Best Actor Thespian Award at some point for what I can't 100% remember.
Oh, damn.
I think it may have been Grandpa and You Can't Take It With You.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Because I think Kelly won for
the
Miracle Worker. And so I remember there's a picture of the two of us with our trophies, but I don't know. I won one at some point.
And Steve had dedication for that part because he shaved male pattern baldness onto his head, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Spent the whole thing in like a wheelchair.
It was a lot.
It was great.
High schoolers playing old men. Always a good idea.
High schoolers playing old men is awesome.
Well, if I move it to college, is the next place I can think of any kind of award that I won. It would be after college, actually. I was an underachiever in college, but I was trying to do too much stuff at once, but mostly just trying to get girls. So when I went to work for CNN after college, our department, that I eventually got into as a media coordinator, we would handle all the video coming in, the raw content of video for all the news stories, and then basically to label it and put it in the proper system. And then when the news desk would call and they'd ask for a video of this, we'd help them find it. Because we're the ones who store the video away in the vast library of videos and content that in audio files. And so when big news stories happen, they put these cameras on these events like for 24 hours. And we have to kind of clip the content. Something happens, watch it, makes for like 24 hours, and people are watching these videos constantly. And one of them was the BP oil spill in 2010. And so people just would sit there and watch the oil from this camera coming out. And if anything strange happened or different happened, we had to mark it down and send it to the news desk. And it's brutal work. And they're basically sending us all this information, and we had to stay there for long hours. And they bring pizza to feed us for free. So we got a Peabody Award for our department for doing all that hard work on the BP oil spill. And the same thing happened a year later for the Arab Spring. Which is basically all these different countries, and these Arab countries were having revolutions and overthrowing their governments, and they thought it was going to keep growing and growing and growing. And it was also with the start of Twitter, and Twitter was a big part of that Arab Spring. And we had to cover that for 24-hour stuff. Some people were staying overnight in the hotel above the headquarters and stuff, and they kept bringing us free food, which I liked. So we got a Peabody Award for that too. So technically, I do have 2 Peabody Awards sitting in my office right now. And if I wanted to, I'd have to pay, but I could buy the actual statue and get an actual award. But if you're not getting it as an individual, they don't give you the statue for free. You have to purchase it off your own money. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, because the whole department.
I don't know. If you don't put that on every resume you've ever had, and I'm not talking even under like awards and accolades. I'm talking at the top in front of your name. Peabody Award winner.
Double Peabody Award winner.
2-time Peabody Award winner, Jarman Day. That would be at the top of every resume I set down.
So I think it's a missed opportunity, but for the play we did for the festival, the guy who co-starred with me, he's won a couple of pretty prestigious local acting awards from the local paper and stuff like that. And they said Orlando Sentinel award-winning actor Steve Pugh. And I thought it would be really funny to put Peabody Award or 2-time Peabody Award winning Jarman Day. Because I think people would think it was
you have absolutely have to put that.
But I thought it'd be great.
Is it true? And is it defendable? Like, do you have proof?
They're in my office right now.
Then you need to put that everywhere you possibly. I'm not even kidding, Jeremy.
But no, I thought it'd be so funny because they think it was a joke.
Absolutely have to.
They probably would have thought I was joking, and the funny part would be is that it's actually true. So I thought that'd be hilarious.
And all you have to say is, it was for my work at CNN, and then they're like, whoa. It'll mystify everything.
That's all I gotta say.
I'm not kidding you. You need to put it on every single thing you can from now on.
And it is on my voice acting website, jarmanvoices.com, but it's buried under the About Me page. By the way, I also won 2 Peabody Awards.
2-time Peabody Award winner, Jarman Day. You need to get that on business cards tomorrow.
And that's all it says. And then my email address.
Contact info. You live in mystery.
What does he want from you? What is this card for? No one cares. These
if you find me, you've earned my services.
If you have to have my prices, you can't afford me.
I won I got nominated in college for Irene Ryan's competition, or otherwise known as KCACTF, the Kennedy Center for American College Theater Festival.
Oh,
which is a big thing, hosted out of the Kennedy Center in New York. And you have to, the show you're in has to be submitted for review. They send official reviewers, and then from each show, if they feel they like nominate, I think it's 2 people to go participate in this larger competition festival.
Oh, okay.
And so I got nominated. I think I got nominated sophomore year. I think for the show you saw, I think for The Crucible, I got nominated.
Oh, gotcha.
And so that next year, the department was like, we haven't had much success in the past, but this year we're really going to make a go at it of sending people and making sure they have the rehearsal they need, because I remember Andrew, our director, was like, he was really saying like someone could win if we give it the time. So every one of us was required to sign up for an 2-credit independent study, which meant for 4 hours a week.
That's a lot.
And we had to rehearse. And that was the whole thing, is we were rehearsing in front of each other and coaching each other and picking pieces and stuff, and really a whole class worth of work towards this.
But doing a monologue, right?
One was a scene. So each one of us had to have a partner.
Okay.
So I picked some underclassmen who was just happy to be there and was pretty talented. Dan Armerding, who we had on for our beer episode of A Play on Nerds.
That's right. Good guy.
He was my partner for that scene. And I picked a super provocative scene from the show Bent.
Oh yeah. Vaguely know about Bent. About
like cross-dressing men and gay men in like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, way to go right for the wall, man. Damn.
Oh man, there's a scene, and this is the scene. They're on the train to be taken to the camp, and the Nazi guards just made him have sex with a dead girl.
Oh my God.
It's just post this, and he walks in and has to like tell this other guy what he just did.
Jesus Christ. Why'd you pick that scene?
Because that's the kind of shit that wins these things.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Same thing with the Oscars.
I'm not wrong.
Emmys
that's
and everything
the kind
else.
Of shit that wins these things.
Damn.
And Andrew agreed, and he knew it. He knew it. And we put all this work in. And then if I remember correctly, the about 3 months before, the date of the competition moved. And it was right over like tech and dress for our spring main stage, which was being directed by the teacher and with like which 5 of us were involved with.
Why the hell they move it?
I don't remember, but I remember it was just this huge deflating, like, all
that work.
Yeah. But I remember Andrew put on like a final performance for us down in the black box. He's like, I don't want all this to have gone to waste.
Yeah.
So let's do a night of performances, invite the department. And so we got to do that.
Well, that's good, at least. And
for that performance, Dan and I switched parts.
Just at the very end? Just like suddenly?
Yeah, because in the monologue, there's one guy, the guy who did it, who's really like the lead in the monologue when it comes to in the dialogue, when it comes down to it. And I was that guy because I was the performer that was being featured.
Right.
But then when it didn't matter anymore, I was like, Dan, you want to try this? And I'll be the other guy. Yeah, sure.
That works out.
So we switched for the final performance. But that was one of the times where I was nominated and I had a chance to go compete, and then it just didn't work.
Well, as they say, it's an honor just to be nominated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's like when I went to audition for grad schools for acting, and I didn't get into any of them, but I got waitlisted for one, and that was DePaul University out of Chicago, because they were the one audition that didn't have you do a monologue. They have you come in with a random person also auditioning, and you do a blind scene, basically, with that person. And I thrive better when I'm like, hand me a script 10 seconds ago. I'm much better at doing that than a lot of other people are, but I'm much worse at doing a monologue that I prepared than other people are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not my strong suit.
I also very much prefer live reading.
I don't know why everyone else does not agree with me. I'm glad you agree, but I think we have more of that improv
monologues
spirit.
are always tough for me.
Yeah, me too. I just stink at monologues.
But live reading, I can pick up just about anything.
Yeah. So I wish all those college auditions were
ahead
that way. It just doesn't work that way. But yeah.
And then the only other thing I remember winning is our theater department awards in college had a yearly award show called the Spam Awards.
Okay.
And you would get little cans of Spam on tiny pedestals. And I won a golden Spam for something. I have no idea because the categories were kind of weird.
Of course.
So I won for something, but really my big win was when I was asked to host by the theater department chair asked me to host my senior year.
That's pretty cool.
And that was like my win. I was like, everyone else can win all these awards. That's my victory.
And your teacher probably knowing safely that everyone will agree with him that you should do it. That's pretty cool.
Maybe. I was in a lot of shows in college. Absolutely. I was very involved with the department. I was master electrician. I was there a lot. The professors liked me for the most part. I got cast a lot because I was agreeable and they knew I was going to hit my marks and say my lines.
Well-known, well-liked guy. Yeah.
Right. But among my peers, I was never really heavy in the social aspect of it. There was a sort of what was considered an elite group of performers called the University Players, who A, got giant scholarships, but B, they went out and performed at schools and did a lot of educational material kind of stuff and were sent out to tour, and they were considered like the elite group. And I auditioned for them 2 times and got rejected 2 times, despite the fact that I had all these roles and I'd been nominated for Irene Ryan's. It wasn't enough. And that really became the inside crowd of the department. And so I never was really involved with that. So there were 2 other senior guys that I don't know, may have been the better pick, or the department as a whole may have been happier with. It might have been the way to think of it.
It's weird because I was just talking to Jolie about this the other day that all my theater experiences throughout my life, generally, I don't get along very well with a lot of people I'm in the plays with. I'm not very well liked among the theater crowd because they're very dramatic and a lot of drama external outside of the stage. And so I just love being on stage and doing the work itself. But then I generally was never really accepted very well by a lot of theater departments I was in. High school probably being the exception. Me and you got along with pretty much everybody in high school theater. But beyond that, college, professional, anything else, I just kind of do my job and I get out of there because they just don't seem to like me very much. Same thing in college. It's just those cliques were really strong. And I was, even though I was, like you said, getting a lot of roles, I was in a lot of plays, getting cast a lot. I was never in that top echelon of the cool people of the theater departments. I guess I didn't really want to be, because good for them.
But yeah, I was in, more than half of the shows I could have been in the time there. I was master electrician, did lighting design for 2 shows. I directed for one of the shows, one of the seasons. I was all over the place, but yeah, I never got that social aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah. That's fine. We made our own social waves, so there we go.
That's right. As long as I've got my body pillow Kiku.
And so last thing I'll mention is I'm going to skip right over that. Skipping right past your body pillow. And I got one award at work while I was at CNN back in the day, because now I work for myself, so I'm not going to give myself any awards, even though I should. And that was basically Employee of the Month as a tour guide at CNN, where I started off as a tour guide there, and I got Employee of the Month one month. So they don't do anything like that at Apple where you work?
No, I get recognition for amount of years I've worked.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
So I've got a 5-year plaque and a 10-year, it's like a solid aluminum bookmark. It's heavy enough to kill a man. It's so big.
Very nice.
And the only thing I can think of at work is at one point the lab I worked in when I first started working out here, we got a call at 10:30 at night because something had broken, and this one team needed as many of this sort of thing as we could give them immediately. And so the question became, who's the closest? And I was the closest. So I said, I will be there in 15 minutes. Give me a half hour. I'll find all of X thing. I will give it to whoever shows up. So like 10:30 at night, I drag myself into the office. I single-handedly go and pull these very specific things this team needs. I wait for about 5 minutes. They said he's there. And the person that comes to pick it up is like a director.
Ooh, like a big
So
wig.
that's when I know this is like something real. Like, oh, this is bad.
Gotcha.
And so I hand over the units. It's done. I get to go home. It's like 11:30 or 11:45. Like 2 days later, one of the guys comes down and goes, "Hey, so we really appreciate what you did and got us out of buying because we heard you're the one that came in at like weird odd hours and did this crazy thing." And they said I guess nominated, or they had a budget for it where they could give like corporate gifts to other people as like thank yous for things. And so they gave me a $300 corporate gift thing. I don't even know. It basically came in the form of a gift card.
Oh, gotcha.
And I remember that I was just at the spear tip of this terrible situation. And the rest of the team did do a ton of work the next day, but I was just sort of the first guy there. So I remember I took it and I spent it on some ridiculous like steer horn drinking mugs that I got one for everyone. But as people left, they just kind of left them. So I have most of them back now.
They're in left a cabinet. Them. How dare they?
They're just like leave them on their desk. Be like, I gotta go.
Now, Steve, I know the true story of what actually happened. So you came in late that night. The next morning, you're called into work, and you go to that same director's office because he wanted to see you, and you don't know what's going on. You think, am I in trouble? Like, what happened? I thought I did my job well last night. And then they make you wait an hour, and then all of a sudden, he gives you a sticker.
So I get to pick any sticker
you want.
I got one with a tractor on it. It's so cool.
That's totally where I thought that story was going to go.
Oh, if only. If only.
Oh, man. I think that's a great way to end this thing.
Pick any sticker I want.
Any sticker you want, you 34-year-old man.
Oh, man.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the Sappy Crap podcast.
Thank you for mumbling, drumbling, and stumbling with us down memory lane.
Yes. It's been a fun time, and hopefully you'll see one of these again sometime in the future, but not too soon because we like to be prepared, and this just happens when we're not prepared.
So when you hear us, it'll be funny and desperate.
Take it easy, folks.
The good old days were always that good.
Yeah, that was something like that.
Side off?
Yeah, that's great. Here's a sticker. You did a great job.
I get to pick one.
No, you're getting this one.
Aww.
All right, pick which one you want.
Tractor.
Again? Jesus, kidding tractors. What's going on here? I'm born on a farm.
Oh, man. Good times. Sappy Crap.
This podcast was brought to you by A Play on Nerds.